do a live stream. I'm going to outline, in my opinion, on this live stream why the Democrats and the mainstream media are losing and are probably going to lose this election in the U.S. All right. But also off the top, I wanted to say something really quick. I wanted to clarify something. In my last video, I made a comment about being restless and wanting to travel. And I was trying to say that I have trouble sitting still like anywhere I go. And I said I wanted to go somewhere. And this guy wrote, "Oh, you just got into town and now you're going to leave your son." That's not what I meant. I meant I wanted to like travel with my son to the beach or something. But when the kids are in school, it's hard to travel. I was trying to express some frustration with that, but anyway, I wanted to clarify that. It kind of sounded like insensitive and rude of me, so. Well, no, not really. It's just a guy that's been trolling me for about a year that said that, but I just wanted to clarify that in case anybody cares, but anyway. Although, I could see the humor in that as well. You know, you just get into town after being gone for a while and then you want to leave again, right? So, I'm just being honest. I mean, I'm always I like going new places like every 10, 20 days, dude. It's just in my nature. But it is hard to travel with the kids at their age and all that, so. Anyway. Oh yeah, so why are they gonna lose the election? I'll tell you why. What's up, Michael, Eastern Dreamer? Hey, Alex, did you get that? I don't know if you saw my last video, but can you give me your honest thoughts on that? Did you get that vibe that I was trying? Because this guy was like, "Oh, you just got to town. Now you're gonna leave. You're gonna leave your kids." That's not what I meant. I was talking about how I like to keep going places. And I said, "Hey, son, wouldn't you like to travel?" And I was like, "Yeah, but you're in school." But Daddy has interest. He wants to travel. But I didn't mean I was gonna like just disappear for like a year or like 3 months. Like, give me a break, guys. Come on. Anyway, I thought that was funny. All right, so why are they going to lose? Yeah, I know. We already did that episode, Michael Knight. We're going to need new material, okay? All right, guys, listen. So I'm going to give my opinion about why I think the media and the Democratic Party in the U.S., why they're going to lose this election, okay? From my perspective, looking at media and crowds and opinions, rhetoric, propaganda, on and on and on.
What do you think it is? Let me see.
Yeah, no, thanks. I felt like a prick when I said that because I didn't mean it that way. But I can see how somebody would try to take that out of context. And then I was like, oh man, I better watch that. All right, so here it is, guys. I think it's without bias to say that a lot of the mainstream media in the U.S. is in the Democratic favor in the sense of they're controlling that part of the media through the pundits, through people donating on and on, who's running the show, certain people in Hollywood and all these other people, but the problem is, I don't think America anymore is buying in general a lot of the narratives of the mainstream media, dude. And they keep going wrong, you know, because now they're going into like what they're calling their desperation psychotic mode. So now they're just going to straight insult attacks. Now they're going on this thing where they're saying, you know, Trump is Hitler and he's all bad and blah, blah, blah. And they're getting desperate. I mean, that's what you do when you're desperate. You kind of resort to like, you know, name calling and stuff. And of course that, you know, Trump does that too. But see, where he's getting away with it is he's entertaining. He's almost like stand-up comedian style, all right? So when he does it, sometimes it's funny. Like when they do it, it looks desperate and nasty, right? And yeah, man, Obama's struggling. Nobody knows. They can't save them, dude. I'm telling you, man. Obama aged overnight. Did you guys notice that? Oh my goodness. But anyway, Yeah, I think they're done, man. I don't think they're going to win this election unless the system's totally rigged, as some like to say. There could be something with voter ID and mail-in ballots. I'm not sure, but there could be something there. So it's probably something worth looking into, I would imagine. But I don't know. I don't think the U.S. is totally rigged in that sense. But what's interesting is that he was on Joe Rogan for like 3 hours, and yeah. He was on Joe Rogan for like 3 hours, and it was one of his better interviews, I gotta say, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm so
But
You know what? You should take the protest from a bit further away. You need to keep
I mean, so many people vote on like sentiment and emotion, okay? And that being said, there's a big distrust of the mainstream media, dude, and they're not helping themselves. Trump was playing those people for years. That's why Trump does those wild, outlandish comments, because he knows how to play the media. He knows that's going to stir them up, and it just keeps making them look bad, because there's legitimate concerns in ethics of, media and vlogging. I mean, I talk about it in the sense of vlogging, but, I mean, that guy's had a vendetta against the media since the 1980s, all right? And he's been playing games with them for a long time. Okay, so he's no stranger to the media. I think he overdoes it, of course. His focus on it, like while he was in office just talking about it, but it's like, he's got some points there. But at the same time, he overdoes it, because it's, he's got that type of personality where it's, when you're egotistical, it's hard to let stuff go. So you talk about it,
I'm afraid that it doesn't mean that it's true. Oh, yeah?
But I gotta say, in my opinion, he's very entertaining, Alex. That's what I'm saying. And I mean, remember, a lot of people vote on sentiment and emotion. Okay? And so when you see the Democrats, calling him Hitler and a fascist and all this stuff, and the pundits trying to it just makes them look like haters, right? And we all know, even on like social media, haters will get a crowd, like those type of channels, but they never do really well because people don't respect it, man. They don't like haters. They don't. But if you're funny, if you're entertaining, that's different. You know what I mean? Because then it doesn't come off as like hateful. Yeah, I mean, he's quite a character, but I gotta say, this stuff they get on him about the foreign leaders and being friends with Putin and Kim Jong-un and all that stuff. Look, I mean, psychologically, in terms of negotiating, you guys have heard that phrase, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. That's a true thing. If you can have like a rapport and be friendly with your enemy, that's a good thing. It is. And seriously, I mean, at the end of the day, the president of the U.S. only has so much power, but at the same time, there's a lot of power there. And I think in terms, psychologically, of dealing with other dictators, there can be something positive with having somebody who's a little bit off, who's a little bit unpredictable, who they know is a maverick, who they know doesn't necessarily do what his advisors tell him to do, especially when you're dealing with dictators, okay? Other people with big egos. Because, I mean, let's face it, I mean, seriously, I know they're saying this, but I can't imagine Kamala or like whatever Biden being taken seriously by other dictators. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. And I'm serious, man. Nuclear is a serious concern in this world, dude. Like, so it's something worth looking at. And I think, again, where the media's failing, as far as the Democrats, is like we already went through that 4 years of like, day 223 of the Trump administration. Today, Donald Trump said something such. And, like they already tried that episode. It didn't work. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it's for lack of material, if it's just not as creative or what, but They're not helping their party, dude. Not at all. And you guys see that clip there with what's his name? All right, who do we got here? We got Eastern Dreamer said if I had his charisma, I'd be at 100,000 subs. Yeah. It doesn't matter that he isn't hurt by inflation. He knows the psychology of people are impacted. Yeah. I mean, look, all these guys, they always blame the administration before, right? So, I mean, it's always a short-sighted perspective anyway. So there's that. Dr. Who, What, Where says, what the F are you talking about? That billionaire has no empathy to any inflation. That could be true. But again, let's look at, we got to look at those major issues they say, right? Obviously, it's no joke on both sides. Everybody knows this. Like, immigration is a serious concern in the U.S. Everybody knows it, all right? And they do, everybody knows now, I think, how much of it's exaggerated they say or not, but it's a problem, man. And for the life of me, I never understood why that's a party issue as more of just a basic national security issue. I mean, all countries have immigration policies. Foreigners, expats can't go to the Philippines and just do what they want, buy land, buy stuff. They can't do it, right? So, you know, there's that. But also, what's that? Hey, son, what's up?
I feel you.
Hey, son.
Don't say hey.
I think the fact that
Don't say hey.
he's a little bit off, you could say, in terms of his filter. Our old friend Donald there. I think with dealing with dictators, that can work to his advantage. I really do. Because you're dealing with somebody they know that's unpredictable. Who's not going to take advice from others, you know? The person at the top, so to speak. And that is, it's kind of serious, you know? And I've talked to people like in the tech industry, and even in this election, man, a lot of the tech people are going middle. And I think like Elon Musk supporting him, and who's this other guy? Oh, the Kennedy guy. I think that speaks volumes. Okay, so you can dump as much money you want into the mainstream media machine, just like with social media. You can buy a big channel, you can do this and that, but at the end of the day, people start to see through media. And I'm not saying that they're right or wrong. I'm saying like their approach at it is definitely wrong. And so. Anyway, if you guys like this speech so far, hit the like button if you're having a good time. Yeah. Thank you, I appreciate that. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you're so creepy down there. I'm so sorry, Mr. Curry. I don't know how this happened. That trapdoor hasn't been used for...
Oh, these comments are just really amazing. I don't even know what to say.
What's a curse?
Amazing people.
Spell that causes bad luck.
But anyway. Yeah, I mean, that's my prediction. I think they're going to lose. Because, like Eastern Dreamer says, I think there's I'm looking at this also from a psychological perspective, too. And,
there are no such things as curses. Just old buildings that need repairs. This place is falling apart. If we don't get everything
but anyway,
quickly, we'll have to...
they're going to lose. All right? That's my prediction. I could be wrong.
Oh, don't worry.
But I think a lot of people don't trust the mainstream media. Okay? And and like I said, our guy over there, He's been playing them for years, dude.
Rather a lot to do.
And, you know, say what you, I mean, I don't know about his business dealings, okay? Maybe he was good, maybe he wasn't, maybe he had ups and downs. I don't know. That could be very true. And all that stuff about going bankrupt, it could be true. And maybe he's not necessarily the most competent businessman. Who knows? I don't know. But I do know he's good at marketing, for sure. And
Why not? As long as you can.
he's definitely good at getting people to believe stuff. Especially dictators, all right? Now, again, I'm going back to policies, dude, ultimately. I mean, I think most people should vote on policies, okay? That's all I'm saying. Interesting thing about the modern-day Republican Party, too, and I was hearing Rogan say this, and it's true, and I've said this before, too. It's like they've now kind of become the party of, like, the rebels, you know what I mean? Like, of the younger generation, in a sense, you know what I mean? It's kind of interesting. But another thing that was interesting is a comment that I said months ago, and actually I heard him say this. I heard actually Trump say this on his podcast, and I said this on my channel like 3 or 4 months ago. Like, I've lived in California a long time. I've been to every single state in the United States. I've lived in different regions of America. And I've never heard anybody, even in San Francisco, okay, even hanging out in those parts of times, I've never heard anybody that was like, hey, how dare you say my 12-year-old daughter can't be a little boy and change their gender? I mean, seriously, who's really saying this stuff? I know there's people that are, there has to be, okay? But I'm very skeptical because the majority of like Americans, regardless of politics, their personality and persona, in my opinion, it is kind of conservative-ish. Like, we're not the most wild, out there type of culture. We're not. And it's kind of true, like, you know, the Bay Area or parts of New York City and certain parts of cities like that are more liberal and so forth. Yes, of course you got that. But again, I've never personally, but I mean, I guess I haven't interviewed too many people in the gay community, but I mean, I don't know anybody saying that. Do you? That's all I'm saying, man. So it does make me skeptical, and others, that you have particular groups of rich people pumping a lot of money into that machine of the left, dude. And I'm not saying even that in recent years, at least. I can't go back to the past. I don't know. I'm not like a... Yeah, but that's interesting. Yeah, and Eastern Dreamer says some of the issues are distractions from the real problems America's facing. That's the other problem with the media and all this noise. Okay? It's been like, it's the same old story, dude. That's how the media makes money. They stir, and believe me, Fox is just as biased, of course. They all are. There's no independent media, mainstream anymore. A lot of social media is propaganda too. So there's so much information now and so much confusion. That's why you got 80 million Americans saying, like, to hell with it, we're not even going to vote. You know, that's what happened last time too. So there's that. But what's interesting about what Malvin's saying is the mere fact that you're an expat in the Philippines means you left your country for a third world country. Yeah, okay, this is a great point. So I did a poll on this channel. All right, we only had 350 responses. Not that many, so it's not like a big sample, but this is like an international channel, as well as like 30-40% in America, people interested in going to live in other countries, traveling, international audience, all that kind of stuff. Most of the audience that voted, and I haven't told people the results of the people that watch this channel, with that kind of audience, the majority, they were voting for Trump, even in the international scene. So, you know, there you go. But, and yeah, by the way, all these polls, I mean, these pollsters, all these polls you read, they do it every election. I mean, they're so, dude, they're so biased, they're so skewed, and you can make polls, whatever. I mean, not everybody's an expert in statistics. I'm certainly not, but I know enough to realize that they're very skewed and they can be extremely biased. Have you guys ever taken a poll, by the way? Rogan and Trump brought that up last night too. Has anybody here ever taken like a poll during a campaign? Have they ever called you? I haven't. Thank you, Grant. Appreciate that. Rose is here. Clizzard. If you guys are enjoying this, hit the like button, man. We're having a good time today, I think. You guys having fun today? I am. So welcome to the live stream. Yeah, I think they're gonna lose, man. And the thing with like this voter fraud stuff is, it's kind of I guess nobody can really prove anything or whatever, and it's kind of a wobbly area. But and again, I'm looking at this psychologically. Okay, I think Trump is very good at playing this media, dude. He really is. And this is where I'm telling you, these establishment people and the Mr. Stiffs of the world and these corporate people, this is where they can't beat him because they keep trying to play this like, oh, he's so outrageous and crazy card. Like everybody's so tired of that in politics, especially Americans. And then you get a billionaire that shows up who really does not really care what other people think because he's not dependent on anybody. And I think he gets a lot of respect for that, you know. So yeah, I saw that McDonald's bit. That was funny. But yeah, as far as like, oh, the economy was bad now and it wasn't bad before. I mean, that kind of stuff. I know enough about no, I shouldn't say that, but I know enough to know that it's kind of, these are like long-term issues. Yeah, it's even like the success of a president. You don't even know how good they are in history until you go down the road like, what, 30, 50, 100 years, right? You know what I mean? You don't really know how good a president was until you see the effects like way down the road, right? I heard that somewhere. But we do know some basic numbers, all right? And again, I don't understand why immigration's a party issue. Never did. I never got it. I don't. I don't understand it. I'm skeptical about the numbers we hear, but I have been to like every major city in the United States, mostly, many. And yeah, man, like Chicago and parts of San Francisco now, it's a friggin' hellhole, dude. Like no joke. It's not fake. It's bad. It's worse than it used to be, like 16 years ago. So that's a real story. They're not buying the narratives, okay? You got George Soros dumping millions and millions of dollars to, I think, maybe congressmen, and then you got Zuckerberg in 2020 dropping 300 million into it, and he's like, I don't know where it went. I won't do that again, I guess. And even Elon Musk was saying this, okay? He was saying there's too much donors and influence on the left going into like, what was it? Twitter and these other, he was saying it's, but what I'm trying to say is you can't buy your way. Eventually, it doesn't matter if they're right or wrong. People aren't going to buy it, okay? And that's the problem they're having on their side, for sure. Nobody wants to hear it. It's the same on social media, dude. People can see through this stuff. But, you know, anyway. But, I mean, talk about that. I guess, like, they're kind of at the end now. So, I mean, they're saying, like, you know, they're like, oh, this guy, he wants to be a dictator, and he's a racist and a fascist and all this stuff, and it's not. Okay. So, I've known a lot of white people. I'm a white man. I grew up in America. I've known a lot of white people, okay? I will say, there is some white people that I have met on some level, because of the way they look, they do feel that they're like superior from like a, I don't know, Darwin perspective and other perspectives, okay? Now, Charles Darwin did no favors to humanity, especially for, you know, equal rights. He spoke out against his feelings on colonialism and stuff, but he didn't help. He didn't help a lot of people, trust me. But let's say even if that was true, if like Trump, well, here's the thing. You get different types of, and I don't want to like people to misunderstand this and say it's some woke thing and blah, blah, blah. Because, look, we all know that some of this stuff's being over-exaggerated, right? On both sides, okay? But there is a level of certain mentalities. But that being said, this isn't, we've come a long way since Nazi Germany, okay? As a society in the world. And most civilized people today, they recognize whatever their prejudices are deep down inside. They would never do business based on that or anything like this, because they can't, because they realize that it's not cool, it's no longer socially acceptable, they wouldn't get anywhere. And everybody knows it's bad for business. But I don't think there's as many, these are fringe groups, even on this woke shit, okay? I don't even know many people that are thinking in those terms. And the average American, man, they're trying to work and stuff and get along with people. I met hillbillies in Alabama, like, they're not, yeah. But at the same time, I will say, I have met some people who are white that, yeah, they prefer to be, you know, they think maybe it's better or something, you know, fundamentally. Some, that could happen. But even if that's true, I mean, immigration is not a racially driven issue, guys. I mean, it's not. Like when we're talking about, it's, I mean, I suppose you could make an argument for it, but I'm not that deep into it. If anybody has anything to say, let me know. I don't know. But to me, I don't see how that's racially motivated, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Am I wrong? Somebody tell me. You know. But I'm not saying it doesn't exist. Of course it exists. But, you know, you go on this other side. I mean, who's funding this woke stuff? And I mean, I don't know, dude. I didn't even know what that term was until somebody told me. I try to, see, I've done a good job for a long time of blocking out the mainstream media. So, you know. But my point is that at this last home stretch, and other commentators are saying this too, like the media is desperate. I mean, that is a desperate move when you're losing a fight to just, you know, start throwing insults at people. But again, when Donald does it, the difference is he's funny. You know, he's like a stand-up comedian. You know, he's. I don't know enough about his businesses either. I can't say whether he was a good businessman or not. I would imagine in a lifetime he probably did learn some stuff, you would hope. I mean, obviously he has experience. You can't just say he was silver spoon, had everything fed to him his whole life. I mean, the man's, what, 78, 76? You know, you do learn some stuff along the way through ups and downs and so forth. I think it's safe to say he knows some stuff about marketing, no doubt, and probably real estate. But also, what's interesting is his message. To his credit, he has had the same message fundamentally about his world views, in a sense. He was in the Democrat Party for a while, but he would play both sides for business reasons, I would imagine. But anyway, he was saying this back in the 80s, man, in the late 80s, about, you know, China ripping off the U.S., on and on and on and on. And so he's always floated the idea, teased the idea of running for president, okay? And he has maintained the same message. Like his friend, his old friend, Howard Stern, he really thought Trump wasn't even expecting to win. He was doing it as another like publicity stunt, all right? Because Trump has had a history of playing games with the media, all right? This wasn't his first rodeo. And he was saying he didn't think that Trump himself was expecting to win. So that's kind of interesting. But anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know. Bite for You says,
Chase said you helped him learn all his lines. Come on, Marshall.
everyone has narcissistic traits. Yeah, I mean, it's a part of the human psychology.
Chase,
I guess the idea is it's on a spectrum, right? That's what they say.
but
Yeah, look, I'll say this too, okay?
don't worry, Chase. Ryder has a plan.
I think that somebody who's a little bit,
Hey, Chase. Ryder, we thought you'd like to watch.
somebody who's possibly a little bit on the spectrum of this abnormalness, like in psychology, could actually make a decent leader, okay? And I know it's freaky to say that, but the reason I'm saying that is because particularly when it comes to foreign, sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? Foreign diplomacy, dealing with foreign dictators and all that. Because, look, dude, that's such, they're so stupid the way the Democrat, they can't elect anybody because these are the most uncreative, they've become so bad at marketing themselves, I swear, dude. People aren't buying it, dude. And you saw Obama in that last speech he was doing, man. He was struggling, man, because you could tell he was tired because he knows they're going to lose. Maybe they won't, but I think they will.
Do it. I can't remember a single word with everyone staring at me like that. Don't worry.
All right, let me read some comments. I've kind of been talking a lot. I didn't mean to neglect you guys.
And
Uh,
I'm an otter. Oh no. I mean, I'm our
Grant's working a full-time job at a factory.
princess is grown. She's empty.
Yes, that's good work. Well, it is.
I mean,
Any honest work is good.
Is empty.
Says, I love how people speak about traits like they ain't got none of in their robotic. They're such wackos. Yeah, look,
you can do it.
so much of
Yeah, no fair, princess.
the psych industry and all that was all used to demonize people. You know, and that, you know, it's like, you think these news pundits, these are like the most egotistical people out there, dude. Come on.
Delicious. Whoever pulls it from the stone becomes king.
Mr. Dreamer says current immigration policy raises demand on housing and leads to wage stagnation. Grant says he's got 500,000 in stocks, and he's been working 80 hours a week for 15 years. Right on. That's good.
You are free, fair princess.
Who else is out there today? Send in a message.
Great job, Marshall. Great job, all of you. You're such
Do we only have 3 people chatting? There's like 61 people in the room. Well, look, at the current state of affairs,
back to bed, Brave Sir Chase.
you guys only got 2 options. So take your pick.
Paw Patrol.
But for the reasons I said, yeah, I'm gonna support the former president this time around.
They're worn by all types of
Yes.
explorers. Today, girls around the world use them for their unchallenging journeys. Just to get
And I think they're gonna win.
we believe every girl
So.
deserves a backpack and the right to an education, so they can become leaders, trailblazers, and keep on climbing.
Renar says, didn't the swamp get drained? And who was on the swamp draining list? We still got Hollywood Hugh, man. Harvest and Shift still going strong.
Things for sure. When we hang out with Gasquatch, it's gonna get muddy.
Nashville, Tennessee, man.
It sounds like a dog!
It's a little dog trying to build a doghouse.
Poor dog. Looks like he could use some help.
Hey, don't worry, little fella. Whenever I got a problem,
Levi says, are you planning to live permanently in the Philippines?
Guess what?
Possibly.
myself,
I don't know if I can live permanently anywhere.
the answer is mine.
The answer is what? Yeah, what's this?
I don't even want to think about going back to work right now, but
Sasquatch, you built that dog a brand new house.
man, it's a crazy thing to think about right now.
You're welcome, little doggy. Enjoy your new home.
Come on, let's go check it out.
It's the starting line for a race. Ladies and gentlemen, get those engines running because today's big race comes with a big prize.
What is it? What's the big prize?
It's a giant
Very good. Well, thanks for listening to me talk.
Hey, Sasquatch, why don't you join the race and try to win it?
Good, Lev. Thank you. But yeah, I wanted to say again, this guy jumped on me for saying that about.
We can all race together.
Really?
I think the way I said it maybe sounded insensitive or something. I didn't mean I wanted to leave. I meant I wanted to leave with my son, but it's hard because he's in school. All right, I wasn't trying to say like, geez, after being gone, you know, I'm ready to go leave my kids again after 20 days. That's not what I meant. Although that was funny, I admit. But it got me thinking. I was like, geez, I hope other people didn't think that, because it does make me sound like an insensitive bastard. It's not what I meant. I was just being honest. I was saying this is the first time I've sat still in a very long time in one spot, okay? And I'm not used to it. And I always like going new places, and we're caught in this typhoon. I'm like, oh my God. And then this stuff in southern Mindanao, it was just like it was kind of a down vibe, you know? It wasn't fun. And I was like, geez, I want to get out of here. And this guy was like, oh, that's comical. You just got to the Philippines. Want to go leave your kids again? And, you know, normally I don't take it too seriously, but, you know, the guy's been on the channel for a year. He's kind of a prick. But, I mean, you know, I kind of like the guy. He says some funny stuff sometimes. And so I thought, geez, maybe I should have clarified that better. I just wanted to say that. I don't know why. I get paranoid sometimes. I'm like, oh, man, I shouldn't have said that. That wasn't nice. I don't get paranoid. I really don't. I mean, the thing that I like about my channel is I've said so many outrageous things that I think people just come to expect it, and I appreciate that they that they come. I appreciate that they know when to not take me seriously, you know. So that's a good thing. Charismatic trucker. Thank you, Eastern Dreamer. I'm good, Lev. He says, what's up? Do I look like Tucker Carlson? Is that like that concerned, serious look when I do that one? Is that what it is? Thank you, Grant. Levi, you guys are awesome. I didn't mean to go on my own speech. I noticed Dreamer and Grant were having their own conversation. That's cool, too. But apparently there's been a lot of people watching. Not sure who's hitting that like button, but...
Probably because the jungle has super rich
Uh,
and gets lots of sun and rain.
Then Buddy should be very happy here. Or here. And I think this nice
I'm not sure, Grant. Maybe
place to plant
at least for a number of months, man.
Take a hole for Buddy?
But how stupid is this media, guys? I mean, they can't find any more interesting, creative people.
your new home.
I mean,
I declare
who's paying these pundits, dude?
our ongoing
I mean, all these guys running these networks, apparently they're the most biased, partisan people on planet Earth.
figure already.
How do they even stay in business anymore? I mean, aren't Americans getting like... I mean, a lot of people know. Even people that aren't that well informed do sense that there's something wrong with the mainstream news. Problem is, it's hard for people to go and decipher and find their own information because they're busy working. You know, And so you get all this, you get hammered with this. It's propaganda, dude. It's been going on for decades. It's just more confusion now because we have more and more information. I don't mean to be a broken record, but it's such a valid point, guys. It really is. I mean, you think about it, not much has changed.
Keep an eye out for species,
You know?
snakes and crocs. Okay,
Oh,
Marshall.
Tucker Carlson's from Maine? Is that true?
Snake watchers?
Wow, you do pay attention.
Don't worry, Mayor Goodway. I'll keep them away from you. Stay away!
Yeah, the media is sponsored by special interests. It is. I mean, and everybody knows Fox News is like America's right-wing network, right? You used to have Bill O'Reilly on there. You know, I mean, I watch Bill O'Reilly occasionally sometimes now that he's got his own channel because he had that whole sex scandal thing, so now he's sort of at odds with the mainstream media, but he made so much money on Fox. I mean, he was like the conservative Fox guy forever, right? And, you know, he's a bit smug. He's a bit of a prick sometimes, but he's got a few hard news points that he's objective on, you know. He obviously leans towards the right, even though he pretends he's independent. I don't think he is. But, yeah, the old guy's making some good points, I gotta say. He doesn't always report, I think. See, the way he presents stuff, you know, it's like... But yeah, he's really pitching for the right this time. He wasn't like that before, but anyway. Are you saying Tucker Carlson or Tucker or Captain Trucker? I didn't know he was from Canada and Maine. That's funny.
Because we've got a growing problem to solve. Buddy, the plants is growing way too big in the jungle soil. So for this mission, Marshall, I'll need you.
But it's exhausting, isn't it, folks?
I'm ready for a rough rescue.
This whole media thing, dude. It's exhausting, man.
To catch the mayor and Chicoletta, just for backup. Jace is on the case. Paw Patrol is on a roll.
I'm pretty sure they're going to lose. They're going to have to find some more creative talent if they're going to beat other people. Yeah, you're talking about Tucker Carlson, or are you talking about me? I couldn't figure it out. Sem7 says, I'm from Germany. Can you explain to me what's going on in the U.S. election? Yeah. What's really going on? Well, there's a struggle for power, obviously. And
Hang on, Mayor. We'll get you down.
I'd say the past 3 shots at it. Man, remember when the left used to have talent? They used to have, you know, like Obama, he's a talented guy. I mean, that guy can stand on his own, right? So could Bill Clinton. I mean, these were men, they could work an audience. What the hell happened with Hillary Clinton? They got Biden and frickin' Kamala. They got no talent on the left these days, dude, that's for sure.
My safety net's we'll catch you.
You know, Mr. Trump, you know, being the market and social media freak he is, man, he's steamrolling these guys.
Tracker, I need you.
They got no chance.
Hook up the plants to the mayor. Once you're up, use the flyers on your mobile.
I don't think. What do you guys think? Who do you guys think's gonna actually win?
Cables.
Let's vote on it. Let's put out a vote right now. As of right now, who do you think will win the U.S. election? And tell me your opinion. Don't just agree on what I say. I'm really curious to think what you guys think. Who do you think's going to win as of right now?
Don't worry, Chicoletta. I'm here.
I don't know where the yes/no came from.
I know what kind of
Sorry.
buddy is. It's a bugum lava. A bugum what is? Bugum lava. These plants love to eat insects that are only found on the other side of the swamp. Oh, So that's where plants like Buddy naturally grow. Right. Buddy should have never been planted on this side. The soil was too fertile. But if he doesn't eat some insects too, he'll get sick. So maybe if we bring...
But I guess it's going to be close. I mean, it will be close because,
And release Chicoletta.
I mean,
Zuma, I need you and your hovercraft to go across
the,
wall and bring
you know, the media is still, the mainstream media is still a very powerful wheel, dude. I mean, corporate media, phew, very powerful, man. So, it's hard to say.
Sounds like a good plan, Ryder. But how will it all over the bugs over here? I bet one of these yummy pop treats will work. Treat
But Eastern Dreamer, what do you think about that, what I said about that, the psychology of having somebody dealing with foreign dictators who's a little bit off himself, possibly, as opposed to somebody who you know is going to follow their advisors and follow the party line and follow the predictable thing? What do you think about that? Seriously, in terms of like dealing with other crazy people. I'm serious. Like, I think there could be a little bit of an edge in those kind of situations. You know, having somebody who is slightly unpredictable. That's my theory on that, because I mean, everybody's always like, oh, he's like mentally unfit. And I'm sort of like, well, if that's true, that could also have some benefits. If that makes any sense. Well, I'll give you another example of where they really screwed up, the left. These, you know, at these conventions, you had, what was that convention recently when Kamala was there, when you had the protesters? And they were, you know, they were, what do you call it? Doing a, you know, a no abortion thing, or they were, sorry, they were conservatives and talking about, I'm sorry, they were Christians, or putting themselves out there as Christians, saying they were anti-abortion, and then there was a really awkward exchange, and Kamala was like, oh, you guys are at the wrong rally. See, she messed up on that one, dude. She really screwed that up. See, if that was Obama would have been like, okay, we'll talk. We'll talk. I hear you. You got your opinion. I'll talk to you afterwards. I can't do Obama, sorry. But, see, he would have handled that right. Now, from what they said and other people, yeah, apparently she gave him like a, quote, dirty, evil look, too, and it was a mess, dude. Like, but, you know, again, just because somebody's not the best public speaker, does that mean they're not going to be the best leader, right? But we got to think about this in terms of a popularity contest, and they're failing big time. Oh goodness.
Whoa, how'd you do that? Easy. Turn it on, Junko.
Okay. Guys, if you'd enjoy this, you can hit that like button. That'd be cool.
Okay. How about getting this junk in my
That'd be a lot of fun. I don't know, when that guy said that, it kind of made me, because I was like, oh, I was looking at my channel, and it was like, oh, I'm on my way to the Philippines, can't wait to see my son, and then I'm here, and I'm talking about education and building houses, and it's all good. And then that horrible thing happened in Mindanao. We get caught in the typhoon, spirits are low, and then I've been here for like 20 days, literally in the same spot, and I was like, yeah, you know, I kind of want to get out of here. I didn't mean that I wanted to leave my son. I just meant like Daddy was ready for a break. That's all. But yeah, this guy jumped on me for that. Prick. But I thought it was worth mentioning, okay? I mean, I try to have a sense of irony and also comical stuff too. I mean, that's why I like to be honest about, oh yeah, I love being here in this place, but I want to leave. And I was just talking about, meaning I like to keep going places, man. It doesn't mean that like I don't want to be here. I don't even think anybody cares what I'm talking about right now, but that's cool too. Okay, well, welcome to the live stream, folks. No, he's a rat. Look, that's not what people are voting on, dude. I think people just see through it. That's the problem. And like I said, he could be one of those awkward white people around, you know. There is, like, in sociology, I guess, or what do you call it, in anthropology? I don't know what it's called, but there's like if you're in a group, like in a pack of bears, you know, and then there's like, you know, another bear shows up and he looks different. It's like a different color with a different stripe. You know, there could be like some awkwardness. It doesn't mean they necessarily like hate them. But there just could, you know, that's part of ignorance, right? Like you don't know something. But there is some people, and I won't deny this, that are racist. There is some, okay? Now we can't be totally naive and say it doesn't exist, right? Come on, it does. Believe me, I've known a lot of white people. But they're not all that way. Some of them are, a few of them are. I don't think it's worth polarizing, I'll say that. Good God. Yeah, I think that's not working for them, man. They keep... Anyway. You can't underestimate the audience. That's the other problem. Okay? What's that expression in show business? Don't underestimate your audience. Because they're assuming that people... They're banking on this idea that people aren't going to research for themselves, and enough propaganda is just going to keep battering them and this is on both sides. And just keep battering them to the point to where they start believing something just because they heard it so much, right? But I think it's, you know, people are just getting hip to some of these narratives, and I don't think they're buying it. It's that simple. So yeah, I think they're done, dude. I think the mainstream media is going to be the one losing this election. And the left absolutely has no talent, that's for sure. Kamala, Joe, Hillary Clinton, not a chance. They're not good performers on stage. Anyway, that's my thoughts. What do you guys think? Good times. All right, everybody, I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. Appreciate you all showing up. Twins Mom, Alex, Carlos, Curtin, Alphabim. Hey, bro, what are you? Tree, Kevin, Monkey, Curtin.
Monkey?
No, his name is Monkey, yes. Patrick. Ron, Sem, Eastern Dreamer, Parage, thank you. Grant was here. Corazon, thank you. Robert Blake, Levi, LEV, Paulo, Fight for You. Robert Blake, Anna. Ron. Thank you guys for your comments. Eugene, RJ, EZZY. Thank you all. Rose, Grant, Edith, Sky, Barton, Jason Kerr from Down Under, David, Rose, Eric, Richard, Malvin, thank you. Ben is my name. Eric, granted. Ben Day,
Don't worry, Mr. Engineer.
Richard,
I'll be back on track in no time. Marshall, help our friend out with your ladder.
Ianoa, James for you. Sean Diddy Combs is here.
Okay, Robert.
Casino Master, thanks for showing up. Parage, Doctor Who, What, Where, Anna's Life, what's up? Anna was here. Michael Knight. All right, everybody. You all have a good night. Thanks for watching tonight. I appreciate it. I gotta go take a shower. I kind of sweating for some reason, but take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.